When we simplify fractions, we use a similar process as when we're finding equivalent fractions. And what we want to do is we want to find an equivalent fraction where both the numerator, the top of the fraction, and the denominator, the bottom of the fraction, are as small as possible. And the rule that we use for equivalent fractions is whatever you did to the top, also do to the bottom, or vice versa. So for example, what we need to do is look and say, well, the top number here is 6. The denominator, the bottom number is 9. Is there a number that will simplify that I can divide both 6 and 9 by? In this case, I think, yeah, I can divide by 3. Because 6 divided by 3 is 2. And whatever I do to the top, I also do to the bottom. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. And so 6/9 is equivalent to 2/3. But because we've made the number smaller, we say that we've simplified it, because smaller values make things more straightforward in more complicated questions. So in this second example, I've 16 and 20. And just to start with, very easy, I notice 16 and 20 are both even numbers. So 2 goes into both of them. So I can divide the top by 2 and also divide the bottom by 2. 16 divided by 2 is 8. 20 divided by 2 is 10. So I have simplified that fraction. But if you notice 8 and 10 can be simplified even further, because again we can divide 8 by 2 and we can divide 10 by 2. Whatever we do to the top, we also do to the bottom. So if we divide both of them by 2, we get 4 over 5. And now there's nothing that 4 and 5 share in common apart from 1, so we can't divide by anything else, and so we say that 4/5 is the simplified fraction and that we have simplified it fully. 8/10 we've simplified a wee bit, but 4/5 we've simplified it fully. Sometimes you might be able to see that in one go. For example, if I notice that 16/20, actually I can divide the top by 4 and the bottom by 4. So if I divide the top by 4, I get 4. If I divide the bottom by 4, I get 5. And again we get the same answer, 4/5. So you can do it in many goes, or you can do it in many steps, or you can just do it in one step sometimes. This last example then, 75 and 300. I know actually 75 goes into both these numbers, but maybe we didn't spot that. But what I do know, a number ending in 5 and a number ending in 0, 5 definitely goes into them, so I'm going to divide both by 5. So 75 divided by 5 is 15, 300 divided by 5 is 60. Now again, 15 and 60, they do share something. I can divide 15 and 60 by the same number, and again, ends in 5, ends in 0, so I can divide by 5 again. Top divided by 5 is 3. The bottom divided by 5 is 12. And so I've got 3/12. I'm just going to check, is there anything that divides into 3 and also into 12? Oh yeah, actually there is. Because I can divide 3 by 3. And I can divide 12 by 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So the answer here is 1/4. And so we have simplified 75 out of 300 down to 1/4. We found the equivalent fraction and made the numbers as small as possible. We've simplified the fraction.